Welcome to Azur Lane Meta. Today I'll be going over a guide of how to maximize limited gameplay. Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be going over a guide of how you can maximize and get the most out of your gameplay when it is limited. Azur Lane incentivizes players to log in and rewards players to log in daily. Not everyone can do that, or if they can, they only have a very limited amount of time. So what this today we're going to be talking about how you can play Azur Lane once a day for a very short period of time and get basically most of the rewards that you're going to want that allow you to come back when you have more time and play um, like you haven't really missed any time. So we're going to go through, you're going to kind of just follow me through what I call my daily grind. We're going to try and move it pretty fast. I will be explaining things, so it won't be as fast as you can go, but it's just going to be kind of walking through what I do on days that I'm short for time. Or so, like, if you are on a day like today, Thanksgiving, that you can kind of wake up, do this during your morning kind of exercise, and then just drop it and not think about Azure Lane until the next day because, a lot of us have lives where we can't play Azure Lane all day, but we still want to be able to be good at Azure Lane. So, hope you guys enjoy the walkthrough. Alright, so let's begin. First, when you log into the game, you're going to be given your daily login, whatever that ends up being for the month, and that's just going to have to do what you do first. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at any event missions that you may have for the event that's going on at whatever time it is. So this can vary very greatly from event to event, but usually they have events where you do a specific thing, you collect it for the day, and the next day you get a new task. And if you collect, or if you do that task, then you have to collect it, and you do that an X amount of days for however long the event is running. The reason you collect first is because you cannot work towards the completion progress of the next task until you collect the first task on some of these events, not all of them. So because of that, we are just going to always collect first from all the events. The only reason you wouldn't do this is if like you're out of dock space and one of the rewards is like a ship. But generally, you're just going to collect these is often right off the bat. So I think, yeah, that's about everything that we do for the collect. So the next thing that's going to happen here is if you go up here into this top left corner triangle looking thing, this will kind of give you a rundown of what we want to do for the day. So the first thing we're going to do is the lab. The reason we do the lab is because we're going to, right after we finish the lab, we are going to go in and we are going to put in another lab. And some of these labs have requirements, and these are requirement like this one, perfect example, have a requirement that we can complete by doing the rest of our dailies. So this one we're going to do right here. And yes, we still have to wait the 3 hours here, but we can go complete the commissions and that'll be done. So when we log in later, more than 3 hours later, it'll be completely done. So the next thing we want to do after that is we go into class. There's no real reason not to do the class right at this point. You technically only have to do one for your daily. I do two because I have enough books and enough ships that need more leveling on their skills that I do two at a time. Once you get done with the classes, we go to build. I usually go to build next. This gives us kind of the most amount of time to have the clear so that we don't have to use the quick refreshes. We build one per day. Unless it's an event, then we build 3 per day because that's what the daily is. Here's like 27 minutes, so maybe we might get this done. If not, we can use a quick refresh. Quick refreshes are not hard to get, so just yeah, they're not hard to get. So then after we do the build, we want to collect the canteen and the merchant. The reason we want to do that is there is a maximum amount of oil and coins that you can have based on your level, and if you cannot collect over that maximum from your canteen or your merchant. However, you see all these people with more coins and oil than their maximum. That's because from commissions and missions you can collect over. So we're going to collect for these first before we do any commission collections or any mission collections, so that we can go over the max. Then we can collect our commissions at this point. There's no point in not. Whether or not you want to go in and put your commissions in right away will depend on how active you are. If you're not going to be active for the rest of the day, I would just hold off until the end so you don't get into any like problems with wanting to use a ship that you put back into commissions. But if you're going to log back in and that extra 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever is going to make a difference to you, then you can put them back in right away. So for this purpose of this video, we'll put them in at the end. So now that we did that, we can go into gear and we can enhance gear. That's another reason, is if you have a ship in commissions that you need to enhance gear, you can't enhance that until they are out. So you just pick really anything of your gear, and you're just going to enhance it once, basically. That's the goal here. I think I know what I have in mind. Yeah, this one. So you just basically enhance the whoops. You enhance one equipment per day, and only one per day. I mean, sometimes you might have to do more than one just to kind of get up, but generally you're going to try and pace yourself so you're doing one per day so you can always get the benefit. After you do the gear, then we can go into the dorm and we can restock the dorm with any equipments that we need. So just remember that this turkey, which is usually curry, but it will change based on the time of year. It's a turkey because it's Thanksgiving. But this is the one that you can buy with oil. So if you're not playing frequently enough and you're kind of capping out on your oil, buy these. This is a great way to get. This is the most EXP per oil that you can buy. And then we're just going to max this out all the way. And yeah, so then that's done for the dorm after we've maxed out for there. Now we can go to Meowficers, the cat lounge. So you get one free build per day. And then just go and immediately put it into training. And as you can see here, none of these are done. I didn't have any done from yesterday. So I'm going to have to wait the 2 hours here in order to actually get the collection time. If you actually plan this out, you're only going to be able to log in like once per day. You can not collect these cats until the next day and kind of have them roll over so you can immediately collect them. I'm going to be logging in more than once per day, so it's not an issue there. So after we finish that, we can actually go into hard modes. I like doing the battles before clearing anything because of just getting through dock space. So yeah, we're gonna go here, and as you can see here, I don't have any of the. I just go straight to the boss node. I can just kind of skip there. Now I can get encountered. I can have an ambush here. Oh, I will have an ambush here. Hopefully I can evade this. I did evade it, but I can just kind of basically skip to the boss mode here, and that will save me a lot of time on hard modes. So hard modes, if you complete them with 3 stars, you have the ability to complete it 10 more times after that, and you will get it to have a threat level of safe. And at that point, you can skip all the regular ships and go right to the boss node, and that will save you a ton of time. So I recommend that you definitely like focus on a specific level and get it to threat level safe so that you can save yourself a lot of time. So currently in the game you can only go up to chapter 8 in hard mode, but they will continue to release one for every world. So we're up to world 12 here, Japan's up to world 13, so you can expect that hard mode will be up there eventually, right? What you get from hard modes and why you want to do them are first core data. Core data are very important, and you get core data based on what level of world it is. So 8 is the highest level. That will give us 20 core data, but in theory, World 9, when it releases, will give us more. World 7 gives us, I think, 18, and so on as you move down. So usually you want to clear the highest one possible, because Core Data Shop is probably one of the best places to get really good equipment. You can get the oxygen torpedo, you can get the white and black shells, and oftentimes they have other things that are useful in there as well. If you're also like me and you don't want to 3-star and threat level clear every hard mode, you can see that I only picked one and I did it. Now, there's the downside of this because as well as core data, the hard modes will give you retrofit blueprints. And these retrofit blueprints are required to do your retrofit. And there are 4 types of retrofit blueprints: destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and carriers. And what type of retrofit blueprints you get, it doesn't matter what level. It could be gold or purple or whatever, rare. But what type of those 4 types depends on what type of level you're doing. So if you do 6-1 or 6- or 7-1 or 8-1 or anything -1, you will get a destroyer blueprint. If you do the -2s, you'll get a cruiser blueprint. The -3s are going to be the battleship blueprint, and the -4s are the carrier blueprint. So why is that important? Is you're eventually, depending on what you need to retrofit, will actually need certain types of blueprints and more or less of different types. If you play enough, you'll get enough of all of them. But one of the things is, like, because I am doing 8-1, I continue to get battle or destroyer ones. So if I were to need to get, let's say, cruiser blueprints, because those tend to be like what I'm very short on, I'd have to go down to a different world where I have a threat mode safe done for a -2. And I do have, like, each world has a separate -1 so that I can go down. And to me, giving up the little extra core data is worth not having to do as much time, and just saving me that extra time, because I have plenty of core data and I've bought most of the shop out multiple times. If anyone saw the rewards that I got for the last hard mode clear, you'll see that I was 60, and that's because right now there's an event that triples whatever hard mode data you get. So normally it's 20, it triples it, so I got 60. That doesn't run. It runs. They have that event every once in a while, but it's not that often. So I expect 60, but right now, or I'm sorry, expect 20, but right now it's 60. Also, in hard modes, they almost always have one ship drop. Sometimes they don't, but generally they have one ship drop. You want to take whatever ship that is. If it's a normal, you're going to enhance it. If it's rare or higher, you're going to retire it. And the reason is you need to do one of each for your daily. And you're going to retire the rare or higher because you'll get medals, and those medals can be used in the exchange, mostly for bullions, or if you don't have one of the exchange ships, you can get one of the exchange ships that way. I think Enterprise is in there, Hood's in there, those sort of ships. So you are going to try and build up medals eventually by retiring those ships. If you somehow don't come across any rare ships and then you complete your build and the build is also a normal ship, then just retire the last normal that you have, because it's worth it for the one medal, I guess. The enhance is not really that important. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have throughout the hard modes and the build, you're going to have about 4 ship drops or 4 ships that you're going to get, make sure that you at least enhance one of them and retire one of them. And that's just kind of what you need to do. Yeah, so here we're playing. If you guys haven't noticed, we're playing a German fleet. I am farming for rune a little bit here. Yeah, so here's the 60 core data, and we got another enhanced ship, so we're just gonna enhance that over. Enhance. Where's a carrier? You. Last one. You got to do all 3. It's important to do 3. Hard modes are probably the most important one. So as I was saying, we are playing this German fleet because we are grinding for rune. We do have to play 1 destroyer just based on hard mode requirements. Hard modes require you to have a certain types of ships as well as certain stats. And so we do have to play 1 destroyer. And we just made it German because we're playing Bismarck and Graf anyway, so might as well make it German. And then we're playing Warspite because I kind of want to see how she hits with her new stats. We have her all the way retrofit done up until her modernization, which we cannot do just about yet. At the time that you are probably viewing this video, you can probably finish her because I obviously am not filming this video during the holidays. I'm filming this a little earlier and showing it during Thanksgiving for you guys. So like I said, with the auto feature here, you can actually kind of be doing other things like in your morning ritual or whatever it is while your auto feature is just grinding these 3 levels here. So, right now you're just watching me grind through this and listening to me talk, but if you're doing this by yourself, you can just play this while you're doing a morning ritual or whatever you're doing, right? You don't have to pay much attention here. You just have to click through at the end. I guess if your ships are kind of level, but they should be, and you should also build fleets that function well. Hopefully, this channel will teach you how to do that. But yeah. So after this, we're gonna go run into basically our dailies, and our dailies don't have ship drops, so we don't have to really worry about that. Dailies are, you really only have to do 1 daily per day. I would recommend that you do 3, and you can do 6 if you really want. And if it's Sunday, you should do 12. So if your 1 days that you're off is on Sunday, or I'm sorry, the 1 day that you're busy is on Sunday, that kind of just is unfortunate because Sunday is the day that they open up the dailies for everything, so you can get more resources on Sunday. So ideally that'd be the day that you can actually invest a little bit more time. Although dailies you can do, like if you're at work or something like that, and you're just like, you can just click through the dailies on your phone on the side. So it's not actually, depending on what your job is, of course, you can run through that. So we did not get, we got another normal ship. So we're just going to retire this one because just for the sake there, we probably would get something in the build as well, but we're just going to retire this, make that easy so that we get our retire for the day. So we go into the dailies. So the dailies, depending on what day it is when we are going to show up which dailies we get. So we get the tactical training every day. We get supply line once a week. And then we get the escort, the fierce, and the advanced. We get, those are day specific. We get 3 of them. So take like this one, and oh, this fleet was changed a little bit. I guess we'll just add back in Prince and Bismarck and Graf, I think. I think this fleet was changed because I put some of these ships in commission just to kind of level them up to make it a little bit easier to grind through. So when you put them in commission, you take them out of the formation and then you have to reset them. Oh, we should do that. All right. So yeah, you have to do one for your daily. I would argue that you should do more of them. If you can do 10 for the day, that's fantastic because 10 mission completes are what you're gonna need to do. This is gonna be fun because I put 2 carriers in this one and 3 cruisers. They are not necessarily the best options for the suicide boats here. As you can see, Bismarck is already losing a lot of health. This is gonna be risky, but I think the formidable should be able to stop the the bombers or the bombers that are on screen. I don't know how that works actually. We're gonna test that out while we're just sitting here. All right. Wow, Formidable's load times are so slow. I don't think I have her speed planes on her because I think I took them off her to put them on someone else. But gosh, Formidable is so slow. Yeah, it does stop them. That's actually really kind of funny. It does. It stops the suicide boats. So she's not useless. Graf, I guess, is not useless either. I don't know. Carriers are really bad in this daily. Um, but so you're gonna do the daily like 3 times. I think the 2 of the dailies just require you to take the 2 minutes. Like they're just like survive for 2 minutes. So you're just gonna have to play through them. Yeah, this is the one for books. So this is probably one of the most important ones that you can do because you're always going to need books as long as you keep getting new ships. So I'm going to do all 3 of these. You can do the tactical one. So the tactical one is going to give you the materials you need to awaken a ship. And to awaken a ship is to go from basically, you need to awaken it 4 times to go from level 100 to level 120, which is the current cap in the game. And you don't actually, if you're a new player, you should do that daily every day and get a good stock of them. But if you're an old player, like, and you have a whole ton of them stored up, because they're not that hard to acquire and accumulate, then you can just skip it if you're short on time. Like for me, when they first came out and released the fact that they would be raising the cap from 100 to 110, and that you need these materials to get up there, I was like farming them in all the methods possible so that I could like not be restricted by them. And then I got a whole bunch and found out that you don't actually need that many to level up. And so I have a ton now. And so if I'm time restricted, I skip that daily. However, it does reward coins. So it is a nice way to change oil to coins, because if you're not playing a lot of missions, you're going to have a lot of oil, but because gold is basically used to pay for everything from builds to retrofits to like limit breaks, anything like that, you're going to usually be shorter on gold than oil if you're not actively playing every day or a lot, basically. And so tactical allows you to kind of convert your oil to gold at least a little bit, not a significant amount to where it matters that much, but I mean if you have a little extra time and you can just, like you see here, I'm just tapping go basically and going into it and then letting it auto run. If you do have the time, you can convert some of your oil to gold using the tacticals. The submarines, though, Well, generally, I'm hoping that you have enough time one day of the week at least to do the submarines. Like they're not an everyday one, and they take longer, and they usually have to be done manually. Actually, I'm pretty sure they have to be done manually. I always do them manually, and so you're gonna need to sit down for them. So if you're in a rush, don't do them. You have all week. If for some reason it's a really busy week and you cannot spare the time any day of the week, or you just don't really want to, and you miss it, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's basically just gonna give you sub equips. So and anti sub equips. So, but submarines are not a big aspect of the game. So if you need submarines, like you don't need them for anything. Like you can finish chapter 12. I have chapter 12 completed. Don't have to use submarines. From what I'm told from the Japanese side of the game, chapter 13 you don't need submarines either. I mean, they're helpful. They're extra damage for the cost of some oil, but they're not necessary yet. Maybe in the future they'll be necessary, but they're not necessary at the moment. And the same way, anti-subs are not necessary. You don't have to defeat your opponent's submarines in order to progress the level. So you can just kind of dodge the torpedoes they send and call it a day. But if you are interested in upgrading your subs, then that daily is the best way to get sub equipment. So you should do it. But like I said, subs are not that important. So if you're just trying to maximize your time, don't focus on subs, and then you don't have to do that daily. So we won't do the other two dailies for the reasons I mentioned and for the aspect of time, and you guys probably don't want to watch me do that anyway. So then we can go into the next section. We go into exercises. So exercises, you get basically 15 per day, but it caps out at 10. And you basically should always do your exercises. Oh, this person actually didn't put a farmable fleet in. This fleet's actually legit. I have to actually like play a legit fleet. So I guess we'll just play our standard boring IJN Namagi Hiru fleet. But that's okay. Oops, we don't want to change you. I was hoping to show off and get some more experience with my German fleet, but they put a real fleet in, so I would not have been able to beat that fleet at all. So we're gonna have to put our real fleet in as well. So you're gonna get, if you're only playing once per day, you're gonna have 10 exercises saved up. If you're trying to go for a rank, you're gonna have to play at least twice per day to go for rank, and then don't do this. You're going to play separately, and we'll have a separate guide on all the PvP stuff coming out eventually. But if you're just playing for like maximizing stuff, then all you got to do is play your 10. When you log in, just play your 10, because it doesn't matter if you lose, because you get the XP either way, and you get half. Even if you lose, you get half of the value of the reward shop points, and like that's good, right? Just half value, you'll still accumulate enough points to get bullions and some of the event exclusive ships, or not event exclusive, but the exchange exclusive ships like South Dakota and Eldridge. So just do them. You do need to win technically 3 to get the daily like thing, but winning 3 out of 10 should be pretty easy. Wow, everyone's getting the oath today. A lot of oath teams here. But yeah, so it should be pretty easy to do all 10. You can just, like I said, this is all auto, so you just click, and go through. If you lose, it doesn't really matter, unless you're trying to rank. But if you're trying to rank, you're going to have to log in multiple times per day, and there's a whole like strategy to do that. So, but if you're just, like I said, we're just trying to get the EXP here. We're trying to get some extra points for the exchange so that we can just kind of benefit and profit off of that, because that is going to be actually the main place that you're going to get bullions later in the game when you need to like get them. Once you get past all those beginner guides that give you like a ton of bullions that you don't know what to do with, you get one from the weeklies. I'm talking gold bullions. You get one from the weeklies. You every once in a while get one from the metal shop, but that's not very like. You can go a while without having any in there, and then like this is probably the next best thing here. Okay, I could have probably beat that with a different fleet, but people are trying hard early this season. We're really early into the season. People are already putting on like pretty solid fleets, so bummer. I guess this is a triple carrier fleet, so it's not actually a legit fleet, but it's one that like my small farmable team can't handle, and I didn't feel like spending the time to switch it to like a different team. I guess I could put Warspite in the hero spot and level her up a little bit. I might do that depending on how strong the next fleet is of my opponent. I don't even know how have I done 3? I think I've done 3, right? Yeah, I've done 3. Oh, this one's really weak. We could actually play the whole German fleet, but I'm too lazy to switch this over again. And like I said, we're trying to do speed, 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 and if we're continually switching these over and over again, it won't be speed, speed, speed. So we'll just switch the Warspite because we're trying to get her up to 120 so that we can just immediately use her as soon as we get the item. She will be very good. She takes out Hiru, and any of you guys who are tired of Hiru meta won't have to deal with Hiru as much. I mean, she'll still be around because she's pretty good, but you'll at least have a way to counter her. I want to see if I can win before Formidable gets a launch off. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. We'll see. Come on. Come on, guys. Oh, bummer. That I close. It was close, but no cigar. All right, one more, and then we call it for the exercises. Oh, another farmable fleet. Fun. Okay, so we're starting to see farmable fleets as we move up in the rankings a little bit. So after this, we're pretty much done. We're gonna go like look at our build, see if we finished our build. I think it was like 27 minutes when we started. I don't know if it's been 27 minutes so far. It doesn't feel like it. I might just use the quick refresh. I have over 1,000 of them for the point of the finish, but you don't actually have to finish the build to be efficient. You can just wait until your next login. Like there is no punishment. We already retired a ship from one of the drops on the hard modes, so we don't actually even need to wait for that. So we can just let it sit. We don't have to collect it for any reason. But I don't think because we didn't do all of the dailies, we won't have every daily mission done. But oh, the build looks like it might have been done. Yeah, see, so the build just finished. We didn't even have to use a refresh. What do we build? Oh, we got a UR Yukikaze or SR Yukikaze. Too bad I already have her completely done. So for what most of you might be cringe, we're going to go retire, and we're going to take those 10 medals. Sorry to anyone who doesn't have this ship, because she's in light builds now, so she's not event exclusive, so everyone can pick her up. She's an amazing ship. You're going to need her for PvP. And she has a low drop rate. Sorry, guys. All right. Yep. All right. That was pretty funny. Okay, so now that we did that, we can just go into here. Oh, what I was talking about here is, see these events right here? We finished this reward here, so we can collect that. Now, had we not collected it before, and we had not collected the completion from before, we would have not been able to accumulate past. So we go through our missions. We pretty much did most of them. I think we didn't do the defeat 10 enemies yet, or defeat 10 like battles yet, because that's just kind of how it is. But we can go in and collect all. Oh, right. We didn't do the cat, and that's because we got to wait for the cats to finish. So whenever the cats finish, we collect, we'll finish the cat. The oil spend, that's because we didn't put them back in commission. I a lot of times forget that. So now we can go do our commissions. This research mission that takes 10 hours will always be available. Some of the newer players have an 8-hour one that's kind of like the equivalent. But it's actually pretty fuel efficient for ships under level 70. But if you're lazy, you can just put in whatever ships you need, because it's probably one of the only ones that gives you like a legitimate amount of a noticeable amount of exp. Yeah, I think we're gonna want to level you instead. So you should always do that if you're not going to be around for 10 hours and or you're not going to be grinding a lot. It will also cost the 1200 oil, and that is the that will finish that last mission that we were talking about. Always check for the urgents. A lot of times there'll be good ones in urgents. Usually the urgents come from like grinding stuff, so if you're just doing really short things like this, they won't be there. But you can always check. Towards the end of the day, they will also have ones that are in urgent that last longer and give more experience while you sleep, basically. So doing that. And then for these, the experience they give is so negligible, I just do the recommended to save time. We're just doing them so we can get small amounts of resources throughout the day. So we finished that. That should complete these 2 missions, and then claim 10 victories. If we really wanted to, we could go back to the dailies, complete 4 more dailies, and then we complete this for another medal and a quick refresh, basically. And then the cat, we just have to wait for 2 hours, and that will be done. If we planned it better throughout the day, we could have just cleaned it eventually. And if you do all of your dailies every day, you will basically complete your weeklies throughout the week, which will result in you getting the gold bullion right here, which is generally what is probably one of the better rewards that come from that. So that is how you guys are going to run through the day. You can, make sure you check your mail and collect anything that's in there. Doesn't really matter, because I guess make sure you do it after you collect from the canteen and the merchant, because once again, these can go over the max. So yeah, that's how you get through this really quickly. If you guys want and have any questions, just ask them in the comments. I don't think there should be anything else. We pretty much ran through everything that we need to do in the day. So if it's a day like today, like Thanksgiving, and you don't want to play, or you can't play because you're very busy, just do this in the morning. Do this in the bathroom. I don't know. There are waterproof phones, right? You can do this in the shower. But yeah, so you just do this while you're doing something, and that'll allow you to get through your day and kind of reap the rewards of being a daily active user without it consuming your whole life. So that was my guide or tutorial on how to maximize your time in Azur Lane. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you need more help outside of this tutorial, join the Discord. There are many people there that can also help you with any questions that you may have related to Azur Lane.